Hey guys, my name is Shai, welcome to my channel. And today I have a really special guest with me, Manjeet. Manjeet is a really good friend. He's a meditation yoga philosophy teacher. He has over 5,000 hours of teaching experience and he's a really, just a good friend. We met back in India. And today we really thought of sharing with you some thoughts about and practical tools about the idea of freedom of choice and how it really sometimes as human we get confused about the idea of the more choices, the more options that we have, the more freedom we experience in life, when in fact sometimes absolutely the opposite occurs. Sometimes we have so many different options that we get confused and we feel like we spend so much time choosing, and in some sense we lose our freedom because our time is invested in things that we didn't thought we were gonna actually invest in. So this topic is very important for us to talk about because it actually determines how you experience life. It determines how aligned you are with your purpose, with your meaning that you give to your own experience, with your own presence, with your own life. So, I was really wanted to know, what are your thoughts about this topic? What do you think about freedom of choice? Is it just an illusion, just something that human created, or is it really important to have all these different choices?
Yeah, it's a big question. It's one of the most important questions which get asked also in any kind of spiritual philosophies. What is really freedom? Are we actually really free, or are we still tied in all kinds of different cycles and bondages? I would say freedom, even if it true ultimate freedom doesn't really exist, I would still say it's nice to experience it on a regular basis. It's nice to even create the experience of space, as we call it, in your life, so that you feel that you're more or less free to do what you want, but you are still somehow choosing to do what you're already doing. So I think we are not even so much after peace, we are the feeling that comes after knowing that we are free, which is, more satisfaction, more contentment, and that we are really living our life the way we want to and the way universe intended it. Yeah.
So this is very interesting. As we previously talked about, it's also sometimes you get this satisfaction from actually walking in the path of the meaning that you provided to your life, the meaning that you are aligned with. So sometimes we feel like we actually bond ourselves when we choose something specific, where actually when we are aligned with our true calling, then we are actually more free than what we were before. We experience more satisfaction, even though we have less options. For example, a prime minister, just by the fact that he chose to be a prime minister, took upon himself that he probably won't be able to just go to the beach by himself, just enjoying the peaceful energy of the beach, the ocean, because he has a lot of responsibility and he has a lot of effect on people. So even though he made this limiting belief, he made it out of empowerment. He made it out of true calling, something that he really wants to create in this world, to create in this life. Do you resonate with this?
Yeah, I would say it's interesting to connect purpose and freedom together, that even if you'll realize later in future that you were not really living your purpose in the past when you thought you were, it is still nice to believe in it. It's almost like a bit self-placebo, I would say, But of course, there should be time spent almost on a daily basis to reflect on what you think is your purpose. Is it really your purpose? Are you really happy or not? Not to go on this mental masturbation every hour of the day. Am I doing what I really want? Because this can also become really like an escape from really living your life and letting the universe give you that answer. But yeah, we were talking about this before also, and it's it's really like freedom from your own bonding, your own limiting belief system and mind, your own thoughts. Like for the same prime minister, for sure it's much more important, I hope, to take the responsibility and do the work that's needed for their country rather than like go on a random walk on the beach and, feel like I'm more free like that. I think it's very important also to make it about yourself, because when you start to generalize the idea of your own sense of freedom on how other people should also live and be free, I think this is where big conflicts start to arise. So there is a unique element, like an authentic element to what is freedom for you.
So the next question will be, I guess, how do you get aligned with your true calling? How do you not get so affected with what other people would suggest freedom is for you, or all these different variety of choices, all this artificial freedom that is being offered for you from everywhere, literally? How do you get aligned back to your true calling?
Yeah, it's nice to take some actions about it, because we can get very lost in the words, in the conversations, in reading the books and listening to all the YouTube talks. And we end up pretty much maybe nowhere, just like a little mental relief. As I learned it, as I know it in yoga, especially if you want freedom, invite space. Invite space in your life, which means like don't just fill your day with a lot of activities, don't just fill your day with a lot of events and experiences, but take time between things. Slow down, consciously slowing down. Not because it's good for me or it's spiritual, but because I want to know myself and what I'm meant to do better. And by doing this, it will help me to find that out. And if I've already found it, it will make my confidence in that even more. So this is something which I think is very important. Slowing down your breath, slowing down your thoughts eventually. And when that space is created for long enough time and you are patient, it's really like, I would say like that realization, that answer coming is like falling asleep. You cannot really like force yourself to fall asleep like, I want to know my purpose now, but create the right environment for it. Wait patiently like you would wait for, let's say, a lover to show up when they are ready. And when the time is right, the universe will give you that answer.
So you're also talking about creating space within not only the actions themselves, but also creating space within your mind, within your emotions, within your thoughts. So everything is, you're a little bit distant from thoughts, emotions, actions, mind. Can you talk a little bit about that and how practically we can actually do it? Like, what tools do you use to create space in your life?
Yeah, I really like to simplify things. For me, simplification is also a way of bringing space in our life. So the simplest practice, I would say, is to actively slowing down your breath. And by that, what I mean is even if you have like 5 minutes of some kind of free time between your activities, actually like bring a timer out, start the stopwatch and see how many long, slow, deep breaths can you take, Forget about yoga, forget about what it means, forget about all the technical stuff. Just create space by slowing down your breath. And we are just built like this. It's for Patanjali or for yogic philosophers, it's mathematics. You slow down your breath, every single time, eventually your mind will slow down. And this would basically mean that you can actually have awareness of what you're doing. If you want to do something with awareness, slow it down. Eat slow, walk slow, dance slow, make love slowly. Anything that you want to slow down and reduce the speed of, the quality and the depth of the experience naturally goes up. So this is what I would say. Slowing down your breath consciously. If you have more time, do it for 20 minutes. If you have less, do it for even 2 minutes. So much better than not doing it at all. And this just takes you to the right space. And also now I'm gonna say something which is kind of the next topic, is you realize that you have always been and you are always actually free. That even this idea of wanting to be free is an illusion.
It's just like you say. It's just like you would say, I want to see, when you're actually seeing already. It's not something like it's so. Sometimes I feel like we are missing the obvious sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know, teach me how to see, teach me how to smell, how to touch. But it's something,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's also very interesting to look at like the expansion, the human tendency to want to expand infinitely. So I would say when you have all these choices in your life, you have the sense of expansion outwards. Like you have the sense of expanding everywhere. I can have any girl that I want. I can have any food that I want. I don't want to be vegan. I don't want to be monogamous. I want everything. But I would argue that infinite exists not only outwards, but also within boundaries, within these limitations. It also exists inwards. For example, physically, in ourselves, we have infinite, like trillions of cells. Each cell has infinite amount of atoms building it, and you can, the more, and each cell has its own conscious awareness of the surrounding. So it's like you can expand outwards, but you can also expand infinitely inwards. So any choice that you make, any decision that you actually take, can help you grow infinitely inwards, even
Yeah.
within the boundaries.
I agree with this, something we were also talking about before, that like the simplest example, going to a restaurant and, getting lost in the choices of like food and drinks items in the menu. And then you get stressed about the fact that you cannot choose and all your other friends chose so much faster than you. Why am I so indecisive? Why can't I make this small little decision? How can I ever make even like a big decision for my life? When I would say the way to go about it is to first, maybe if possible, even like close your eyes, ask yourself, what do I really feel like having, Do I feel like I want to have something a bit more filling or something more light and something more like veggie or something a bit more fruity, and then having a general idea about what you would like, and then looking in the menu if they have something like this, And imagine if the same approach is applied to life itself, just like going within. And I love how simple our system is, It doesn't want like complicated, like infinite amount of things. It just wants sometimes like a glass of water. It wants like a good friend to talk to. It wants someone to practice some very deep, slow, present, conscious intimacy with. It wants basic, simple, nutritious food. It wants good amount of rest. And this is so basic and this is so universal. And we don't even give that to ourselves. And then we seek for all kinds of pleasures and things outside. Absolutely nothing wrong about it also. But I would say like coming back to the basics, building a nice foundation, and then on top of that, like exploring, Not like looking to find your home, like searching for a place, searching for a spiritual practice or a guru.
Like outside.
Outside in the world, but actually going within, like I am at home when I'm connected to myself. My intuition is my guru. My good friends are my family. I can make good friends with any good person wherever I am at. This is abundance. This is freedom, This is, I want to live like that.
You already are.
More or less.
More or less.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We just talked about like, what if some like divine entity, God, or infinite consciousness would come to us and ask us like, how would you want to live? You probably wouldn't change so many things. And I think it's a really good place to be in.
I would even say like, what do I know? You've created all of this. You decide for me. I just hope that I can trust you better. And I just hope that I have the courage enough to follow it when you tell me what you're meant to do. And if I'm not able to, I have patience and acceptance for that too, That I even enjoy the mistakes that I'm making, which will eventually lead me to doing the right thing.
And I think my new mantra right now in life is ... and that's okay. Like no matter what happens, it can be the worst things, it can be the best things in life. Meeting amazing friends like you, having good food, healthy choices, and I know I get excited, and still that's okay. So for the good or the bad, it's this sense of okayness. even if you get excited, if even you get sad, through the space that you suggested, you create like this kind of gap, and you kind of observe it and say, that's okay. That's okay. The deepest understanding of everything will pass anyway, and it's okay. Like you get to learn everything. So, and many people that I talk with, some of my clients also are talking about, I want to practice spirituality for 1 or 2 hours a day or 1 or 2 hours a week, and I don't know, I can't find the time. And for me, as I practice spirituality, is once the awareness, the conscious awareness arises, then I have this space that you talked about to choose, like, what do I want to put awareness on? And sometimes I choose, I just want to breathe. And for me, that's like the ultimate practice. It's not somewhere like that I do pranayama every day, breath work and all that. It can help, it can assist to realign, but for me, alignment happens with the awareness. Once I'm awake now, all right, so this is the time for me.
Yeah.
This is my practice, to make different choices.
Yeah. And this, I would say, is really slowly making your way to the ultimate freedom, because maybe you glimpse that connection with yourself, like how it feels to be in alignment. Maybe a few seconds a day, you start with that, and then you lose it. And then you keep coming back to it, and you develop more and more simple practices to keep coming back to it. And then you are free. You know how it feels to be in alignment, you know how it feels to be out of alignment, and then sometimes you just enjoy making yourself suffer, Today I'm gonna cheat on my healthy food and I'm just gonna eat some junk shit. Why not? And it's okay, I allow myself to do it. And this for me is indirectly very yogic even. Like it's supreme detachment. It's detachment from the outcome. It's surrender of the results of our actions, our life to this universal entity which is taking care of everything, it knows what it's doing. It is not blind faith because I am still taking care and choosing for myself, but I am not deciding how it's going to make me feel. I trust that if I feel bad, even if I've done what I wanted to do, I am meant to feel like this and learn from it. It's really nice. I'm going to say it again. It's really nice to simplify life and come back to basics. Otherwise, universe is going to slap us enough so that we remember it back again, You're going to enjoy the life, wanting to eat whatever you want. Universe is going to make you sick, If you're going to move around too much and not having any kind of good deep connections, you're going to feel lonely as F. I don't know if I'm meant to say the F word in your videos.
Of course.
And same with everything, You're going to just kick 50 items out of your travel bucket list. I'm going to go to this place and that place. We will feel so lost and anxious that we don't feel at home anywhere. So I love the fairness of it. I really have to say it. I love the fairness of how happiness comes from just taking care of your basic needs and letting go of that control. The poorest person in the world can also do it if they have their basic needs met. And the richest person, the person who has all sorts of material abundance, can totally forget about it, has everything that he can want, but doesn't take care of his basic needs, Yeah.
That's beautiful. And one last thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that sometimes we actually, within our choices, I wanted to do that as well. This is Bali life. We're right now in Bali, Indonesia. You just pick them up off the floor and smell it, and just wonderful. So sometimes we get confused with flattening the prioritization of our choices. So what I want, what lover do I choose, or what food do I choose, is on the same flatness level. So can you say some words about the weight that every decision should have? Should something be more categorized as purpose, life mission, calling, alignment, and other is less simple choice or junk food choice? Can you say some words about that as well?
Yeah. First thing I would say is that it's not a good idea to generalize it. What could be my priority list, my yoga teachings, my family, my friends, my lovers, my time with myself, nature, food. It really doesn't have to be the same for you or for anyone else. It's important to know the nature of the mind, that you can get lost just in deciding what you want to have for dessert later on at dinner time, and you can get stressed about it. Like, why can't I make a choice like that? Understand the importance of making that decision, you know? Maybe it's really not that important for you. So if just like this little bubble is bursted, that it was not really that important for me to think about it, so I'm not going to spend even like 5 more seconds on it. This creates already so much space, you know? And when you, I love how indirectly efficient it is. You just stop giving attention to things which you know more and more are not important. The important things will come up, like, hey, I'm here, give me some attention.
Through the space. Because you allow things that are important for you to just come into the void that you created. So you're not giving more power to attention to the things that are less important in your life, and allow it, like, naturally, the more important things, the things that you put active conscious awareness on, to just come and suck it into your own void that you created.
It's like some people could just come and want to have a little chit chat with you and kind of like take energy from you, like suck your energy, and you would be aware of it, like this thought pattern or this habit is sucking my energy. And some people, they just come to nourish you, they come to uplift you, and the time with them is not always pleasant, because they can also show you some mirror. So don't expect to always feel good around them, but you know that this is more for you, this is more in alignment with my heart, with who I am. And these thought patterns are slowly bringing in that sense of life purpose, that sense of your mission or the reason why you were born. And that can change too over a period of time. So if I'm meant to be a yoga teacher for now, and I decide like 2 years from now that actually I enjoy cooking food more and bringing that more to the world, I would do that. But what doesn't change for me is that answer will come from within. If I create enough space, and if I'm patient enough for it to arrive, and courageous enough for me to follow it.
Even through resistance. Sometimes going through resistance, we grow through it. Would you agree with that? Because a lot of teachings, especially in the spiritual world and modern positive psychology, people are referring to going like with the stream, down the stream, the path of least resistance. But actually sometimes we need to go through this resistance in order to achieve meaningful things in our lives. Would you agree with that? I think we can end with that. Yeah.
I would say each to his own, you know. Some people love the idea of being, and for them being is more non-action and just more space to literally do less or almost nothing. This could definitely be one way. The other way is a person who just naturally feels like being more active, you know. They love activities, they love actions, but they are not stressed. They like intensity, you know. They like challenges, they like adventures. But this is just how a person is built, you know. If you compare a horse with a turtle, it's not gonna be a good comparison, you know. If you tell a horse like be slow like a turtle, be very mindful of your movement, a horse is gonna be miserable.
Nature.
Exactly. So it's not so much about how it looks from again outside to the other person, you know. It's about what's happening inside. That active, that super in the action person passing this more slow, just being non-acting person who's just sitting under a tree, and they both pass each other and they give each other like a wink, like life is good, right? And you're like, yeah man, life is fucking good, you know. Just your own way, you know.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think on our next talk, it will be interesting to talk also about listening to what other people say about you, and the fear of what people will say about my actions. And sometimes, even if you create this space, it's hard to ignore, like that you need love from others. You need validation sometimes. I mean, if you have some things that you feel that are incomplete within you and you need to complete them with others, but it's a whole new world. It's a whole different topic. But I think for now, thank you so much for actually being there with me on these times, and forget about the video. It's like I really appreciate your presence in my life, and thank you so much for everything. So guys, thank you so much for joining our intimate environment here in Bali. And I also want to say that finally, after so long that I stopped doing it, I came back to doing consultation, guidance, provide clarity. So if you're interested, just go to my website www.shaisnir.com. Just book the first consultation, just introductory conversation with me. It can be on any subject in the world that you feel a little bit stuck on, and I'm keen. I really love talking with you guys. It's just amazing. And if you resonated with one of the things that we talked about, if you want to share something of your own experience about choices, about freedom, about purpose, calling, please make sure to leave a comment. And if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed for more content. We love you so much. It was a pleasure to sharing these truths with you. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. For you guys, until the next time, see you.